So everybody can get more comfortable. I know you guys are all piled together. I want you guys to get a good spot before I start talking, okay? So let's just mount. You guys can circle up. By breaking the collar grip, it's gonna be difficult for them to pass my guard because even though I don't have the collar grip, I still have my hand to defend. But a lot of times I would just end up stuck here. Like I would just end up searching for that collar grip, and then he would go there, he would break it, and then like I'm just kind of like waiting to grab again, and then he goes and breaks it. And on top, it's something that I like to do as well, right? I'm constantly breaking control of the collar grip. So if I'm passing, I feel like sometimes the collar grip doesn't bring much of a threat, but once you guys start to try to finish a pass, the person uses that collar grip to off-balance you. So I've seen cases before where the person on top is putting a lot of pressure, and then all of a sudden the person bottom uses that collar grip to push them away, and then get to a good position. Right? So that's when the cross sleeve to me, it felt much better, okay? It started originally with, on top, someone doing this to me in training and felt very awkward for me to pass the guard. So I started to then implement into my game, okay? A couple of things that I like to keep in mind is that every time I'm using the cross sleeve, I gotta also keep his arm across my body. Okay. If I'm using the cross sleeve and his hand is still on my knee right here, then there's not much going on. Okay. Then I might as well let go of that sleeve and try to go back to the collar or grab the same side. So I want you guys to be using the first round to control cross sleeve. I control the pants, and all I want you guys to focus on is to maintain your guard as the person is moving side to side. Okay. Every time I feel that my partner starts to figure out his base or he starts to try to escape, it's when I'm using my leg, okay, to bring him off balance, but his hand is constantly across my body, okay? So important rule, just to get started, never let this arm go to the same side, okay? This arm goes to the same side, you guys are probably gonna have to let go and reset to a collar grip or the same side sleeve. So I'm constantly having this grip all the way across. Go ahead, keep moving. Another thing that I like about this guard, I don't have to have my legs working the whole time, okay? So if you guys have the cross sleeve, like in the beginning when I started playing this, I felt that like my guard was loose. I always need the necessity of having a strong de la riva and constantly be like stepping on the person. Now I get more comfortable and I end up getting to better positions when my legs are a little bit more relaxed, okay? So that's why I don't want you guys to put so much effort into your de la riva hook. I want you guys to play with the de la riva, step your foot on the hip. The opposite leg you guys can push, you guys can hook, you guys can be moving. But my legs are very relaxed. What I'm focusing the most is grip on the sleeve and maintaining my de la riva grip right there on the ankle, all right? So person on top is gonna be moving, very light. Again, he uses a warm up, while the person on bottom has gotta maintain the grips, the angle with the sleeve pulling across, and then just use this to start implementing this to your guard. This type of grips, we're gonna start looking at new setups, okay? Let's go on 3. 1, 2. The goal is to just kind of introduce first round, what are we gonna be working on? And then now I'm gonna be showing details and I want you guys to be going through those, okay? I do like the person on top, especially when I'm working on, I do like when they're moving a little bit, they're giving some sort of resistance. And the details that I usually show is that I like to leave it very open for you guys to try it during your game, okay? You guys are gonna face different people, body types. I'm gonna have people here that are guard players. There are people here that have never really played guard. So that's why I want you guys to kind of use it all the rounds that we do right here in the middle as introducing these techniques and details, okay? If something feels really awkward at first, it's important to get a couple reps in and then move on to what it does feel comfortable for the moment, okay? Like I feel like right away, if you guys don't recognize that as ever being part of your game, it's okay. I'm gonna be showing a lot of details for you guys to be using and complementing this, Okay? If something doesn't feel useful at the moment, you guys can move on. Eventually that will come back, and then that will turn big part of your game later on. Okay? So I'm gonna have the grips. The first thing that I also think about, it's my partner pushing all the way up. If he pushes all the way up like this. Okay? It's not something that's really going to stop what I'm doing. It's definitely going to slow down, but I don't think like all the reactions that the person goes back, you guys should be okay with it, because as long as they're not coming forward and putting a lot of pressure, you guys should be fine. Okay? But I do like to use this detail here whenever he's down. I like to use my thigh. I push his hand into my pocket, and I use my thigh to trap his wrist right here. Okay? So instead of just kind of like hang right here, especially if he's like fighting back, like if he's fighting back, and like I'm just kind of like hanging, like I'm eventually gonna end up getting tired, or he's eventually gonna be managed, he's gonna be able to bring this arm all the way across. Okay, and then you guys are gonna be forced to switch your grip. So I'm here. I like to use this one all the way here. It does leave your foot a little bit lower for the person to jump over, right here. But that's where my setups will come in. Okay. For the person on the top, I don't feel it's a smart decision to jump over the person's leg to get to the headquarters if your arm is crossed, like this. First thing for him to do, it'll be better if he gets this arm on the same side, then he jumps over that leg, because now he's got control over my upper body. But if this arm is crossed and he ends up jumping over that leg, I have an easy way out this way. Okay, if let's just say I grab his arm and I start to elevate him, I have my single, I have my back, okay? So that's why I feel it's almost like I'm baiting him with this. I do trap his arm here, because as soon as he jumps over, that's where my setup comes in. Okay, so I want you guys to use a little bit more of this detail by trapping the hand into the pocket, and then you want to use your thigh just to bring your leg forward like this. Okay, foot on the hip also can be very useful, keeping the foot on the hip to control the distance. All right, I usually use the foot on the hip if I feel like the person on top is trying to like go to a low squat position, like this. If it's trying to stay too low, then I start to off balance him until I fit my foot on the hip. Don't try to find the gap right now. Look, there's not going to be any gap there for your ankle to go in. So off balance the person. Now there's enough gap for me to place my foot right there. I have the arm across and my leg trapping right there. Okay. And one last thing, I try to avoid being so heavy on the mat. Okay. So I try to avoid being with my lower back heavy and my legs open like this. Like, because then he can try to backstab, he can try to escape this leg. Like, especially if my hips are very heavy. All right, so try to, whenever you guys are using this guard, look how my lower back, it's always a little bit to the side. Because that's how you guys are gonna have more leverage. If you guys are just stuck here, the person ends up jumping over, I got no leverage to pull him. I just got my grips. When I'm moving more my hips, even if he jumps over, look. My hips, it's what's creating all the off balance. Okay. So again, go ahead, keep moving. For the next round, I want you guys to work on this off balancing and start entering one leg X, okay? And I also want you guys to watch how I'm doing, because even though like I've been practicing this for a long time, I'm still trying to get comfortable playing this card, right? I want to be able to move. I want to be able to see his reaction. What I don't want it to happen is that I don't want this type of grips or open guard to be so nerve-wracking, where like you guys are just like trying to like stop the person from moving. The bass guard, it's a guard that you guys are flowing with the person. and you guys are able to set up your positions. Okay, every time I felt that I was playing guard and I was trying to hold the person down, I felt like I ended up getting more tired than trying to flow with him. Okay, so I am moving with him. I enjoy the movement, but at the same time, I'm aware of things that he can do and things that I should not let him go to, right? So I know for a fact I don't want to let him bring this arm across. I don't want to let him escape this leg over my leg. So I'm flowing, we're moving, but at the same time, I'm not letting him go too far. Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so let's get one more round. Now let's enter into the one leg X. Use the same grips and you guys enter into the one leg X. So same grips, you guys see me moving for a few seconds and then you're just gonna shoot your leg all the way through. One leg X. Okay, if you guys it's probably your first time ever doing this and you guys are not yet comfortable with your guard, just use more as guard retention. Work on your guard retention, controlling, and then later on, we can drill the one leg X. 1, 2. Guys, let's add more details into it. And as I'm walking around, people are getting more comfortable, so they're asking questions, okay? So I like it because then it forces us to rethink about the position and go into a deep study. A common question, if the person does end up grabbing my collar. So let's just say I was playing with the grip, or the sleeve grip. I was doing a good job. He just managed to go there and grab my collar. Okay. I'm not going to let go of my leg. Doesn't matter if I'm holding the pants or if I'm holding the ankle, to try to pop this grip. Because if he steps that leg back as I'm trying to pop this grip, then I start losing control of my partner. Okay, so I keep the leg. I try to use my legs to pop that. Okay. So the first option is to try to throw like a shallow lasso. Just your foot all the way around, step on the shoulder. Okay. When I do step on the shoulder, one thing that as I explained, I'm not going to try to push if I'm not first weighting my leg heavy on the bicep. If his arm is extended and I'm doing this hook, you guys are gonna end up like kicking your partner and not getting anywhere. So my first objective is to drop my heel down. So I do this hook. Like I feel like I'm using my heel heavy onto the bicep so I can get a little bent of his arm. So I go like this. Now look how, I'm not gonna try to push right now. I'm gonna first push it down. Now, I'm able to step on the inside of the shoulder, and then I can reset my guard all the way back. If maybe I don't feel comfortable using this, what happens a lot is that he connects elbow to knee, and like this leg doesn't come over. Okay, so as I'm trying to create space, I'm not able to step. That's when I use the inside knee over his bicep. So I do this. Okay, and if I can, pinch both legs together. Look how I don't have De La Riva. I do this. Now I use my hips to break that grip, and I push it all the way across. Okay, so try to, as you guys are moving, try to move as one. Rather than just kick, use your leg, kick, use the other leg, or pull using the arm. Try to use your whole body for moves like this. Okay, so as I'm here, for example, I'm gonna go here. Look how my body, I'm small. Then when I push, I use my hips because you buy your leverage to come back. If you guys just use your leg, and even though you end up breaking, it's a lot of distance. Sometimes he uses that to like push my leg all the way, and then you guys try to find yourself into uncomfortable position. So I go in as a small, I extend, and then I come back. Okay, so I'm never fully extending. And every time you guys are playing guard, not just for this grip, you never want to be doing this, like getting too much space. Okay, you do want to maintain the distance, but you never want the person to go too far. Because if he goes too far and he comes back into a good position, then I don't have more space to push him away. And what happens is that sometimes, let's just say he's holding my pants right here. I break the grip and I go too far. Then he might come back and now he's too deep. Like for me to like go back into my guard, I'm gonna have to like let go, frame, and then if the person does a good job, I might never recover from there. All right, so addressing this grip on the collar, breaking that grip on the collar, using your foot, you guys can also use your knee, breaking that grip on the collar, okay? And I can always switch to what's called the 2-on-1. Grab the sleeve, grab the tricep, okay? A simple rule that I keep for the 2-on-1 is that my arms will control the upper body, my legs will control the legs, okay? So if you guys feel that the person is moving back too much, he's moving back or he's pushing up, sometimes like he's pushing up, and I feel like maybe it's not the good time for me to go one leg X, then I sit up, I grab the tricep, posture all the way up. I grab the tricep and I pull him all the way back. So you can regain that same posture I had before. It feels more comfortable from this distance, okay? So if the person starts to posture up too much, look, go up, grab the tricep, but look how my leg, I never drop my feet. I keep one controlling the far leg, the other one, if you guys are not able to keep the leg of a hook, personally, I'm not able to keep my hook in, so I just use my calf against his calf. Okay, because I just want to use this to pull him back. Now I can go back into the leg. Okay, I just don't want it to happen where the person's pushing up and then you guys are like, don't know what to do at this point. Okay, just step, grab the tricep, pull it back. Now you guys adjust your guard and you're right back into the game of attacking. The best thing to do is if I notice that he's trying to posture up, I could be hitting a small tripod. Yes, you have your sweep, but I use this for him to go all the way up. And then I set up my one leg X. Okay? So again, he's grabbing my collar, pop, he grabs my collar again, break the grip, he postures up, grab the tricep, he tries to posture up, tripod, and then you guys can stop. Okay, so let's work with this combos. Does not need to be in this exact same sequence. Just showing you guys more details to implement into what you guys just started working on. Okay, let's go 1, 2. The moment you're gonna struggle the most with a single leg is if you're on bottom. If you're like right here. Because you don't have yet your base built underneath you. So like as I try to go up, he's gonna be trying to like keep my weight down until I'm able to get my feet under. Now that I have my feet under me, it's easy for me to just stand up. So that's why I've been using that knee detail. So De La Riva, 2-on-1, I step, I sit all the way up, okay? I like to use this grip right here to be placing my hand over his, so he doesn't posture up. Now this arm, it's gonna then just grab the knee, I pull, grab the hip, and then now look at my legs to the inside. Okay. He also avoids the person from overstepping you. Because if I'm here, if he takes a step over me, I do end up on a one leg X, but again, he's going all the way back, right? So he's taking a couple steps back. And I also saw it happening where if I don't trap his leg and I try to climb up to his back, he ends up passing my guard to that side. So if I go like this and he steps over my body, then he ends up getting to a good position because I have hip control, but his legs are free. Okay? So it's okay to have hip control as long as you're trapping their leg and not allowing them to overstep you. Look, I have hip control. Now I just use my leg. Okay? You guys could do where you're first scissor, then you go up to your knees. Okay, this will help because you don't want to lose control of that leg. Okay? Or, as you go to scissor the legs, you already go up. Okay, so I'm already up on my knees. Now I have hip control. Another thing that really helped me with was sometimes as I would go single leg, they would start kicking their leg out. So sometimes I would go here, I would go single leg and he would just start kicking this leg all the way out. And then as I'm trying to chase, the leg is going away from me. And I end up missing that leg. So now what happens is that I go one, I turn, but my leg is trapping his leg. My sleeve control is making sure that he doesn't wizard over my arm, he doesn't try to hug my head, right? So if I don't have the sleeve, he might just go over and overhook my arm. And you guys are just like, you know, have to fight a little bit harder from this position. So that's why I maintain that sleeve. So I can keep that sleeve there and I can work towards the back. If I need the points, I can always just take a step. Now I grab the leg, place my point all the way down. It's easier and I feel like it avoids all this overstepping, backstepping. You guys are always in a good position, okay? So one more. 2-on-1, step, control the hips, try to reach for the pants so the belt doesn't slide. Okay, grab the side of the pants. Now look, I go here. Turn all the way in. Then you guys can be going to the back. A lot of times too, as I'm doing that, the person ends up trying to defend the back and accept the sweep. And then I get on top in a good position because I have the sleeve all the way across. So let's drill this a quick round, maybe 3 minutes on it. This variation, and then we can move on. 1, 2. Guys, as I'm showing all these techniques, I'm trying to make it understandable for everyone. Based on step by step, I'm trying to go over reactions that person usually has, the struggles that I usually face in a position. So you guys are able to cover, everybody's able to just understand a little bit of the position, and then you guys try it out. Again, if the person has some sort of resistance, if they start with the resistance, such as situation training, specific training, sparring, then what it needs to be adjusted, is, if you guys already know this step by step, is the timing, okay? I know, and it happens all the time, not just with this, but with different techniques where people, during the drill, they're able to do it, they know what to do, they know what the person can do, so they pretty much understand the technique. But then during a sparring, when there's resistance, they're not able to apply that technique, okay? It's because you're missing the timing for it. Like the timing that you're trying to, the type of fighting your partner is bringing into you. So I feel like that's where it's easier for you guys to start implementing to it. A small drill, active drilling, have the person resisting, giving you a harder resistance each time, and you guys try to make the technique happen and keep it flowing as you guys are doing that. Understand the timing to do it, okay? So sometimes, if I feel my partner is really posturing up, right? I have the tricep, and he's resisting, he's like strong, he's like holding me up, he's grabbing my pants right here, he's posturing all the way up, and I'm trying to make the technique happen, it just not yet. Yeah, you gotta wait a little bit, I gotta make some more movement before I make it happen, okay? If you guys feel the resistance, especially if you're doing right now, situation training, his only goal is to stop me. His only goal is to hold me. It's gonna be hard for me to do anything. You could start with the submission. If his goal is to just hold his arm and not trying to escape at all, you might never finish. Okay, that's why I need to understand the timing, and I need to be patient with it. Like sometimes I literally have everything to make it happen, but my partner is just resisting. Then I need to create movement to let him get a little more comfortable, and then I advance with my move, okay? Because I don't want you guys to force the technique. If you force the technique, you'll be able to do it in earlier rounds. Later rounds, as you guys get tired, you won't be able to make it happen. I want you guys to understand technique as timing, as a flow, okay? So if I start here, he's holding his resistance. If I'm stronger than him, yes, I'm gonna push, I'm gonna grab, and I'm gonna turn. Right? I'm gonna use my strength and I'm gonna be able to overpower him. But if I'm getting tired and he does that, then I don't have that anymore. Then I need to rely on timing. So what I do, I start moving my hips a little bit more. Okay, so the same grips that I have and maintain, I'm pulling, but I can also push, look. So I got to the same technique, I just create more movement. I made him open up a little bit more, especially when he's just trying to hold you, okay? So I have my grips. Let's just say he's holding my pants right here. He's pushing up, go. Look, if I'm just trying to pull and he's trying to pull back, we're gonna stay in this fight here. So if he's pulling, I might go with him, go. Once I recognize he posts that hand on the mat, that's my time to go. Okay. Once I recognize he posts that hand on the mat again, it's my time to go. Okay. So it's all about timing, understanding when I'm exposing him and when I should just hold back and create movement. Okay. I'm here, 2-on-1, I step, he pulls the hand, okay? It's not gonna be for a very long time. He's gonna go back up. I might miss it. He might pulse and then right away take the hand away. But I'm understanding where he goes. With movement, the hand goes there all the time, okay? So he opens up for me to go to my single leg. He opens up for me to step over his back and spin to an armbar. And I can also step on the hip and catch a triangle. Okay. Again. So you guys have 3 options. Go 1, he stepped. Okay. I have my single leg. I have my armbar, so I step over his back. I like to, before I use, always step the front of the hip, but I felt that he would posture up. Like there's nothing really weighty on his back. So as I try to go, he postures up. Now I throw this leg over his back. Because if he tries to posture up, then my leg gets heavy on his back. It's easy for me to turn all the way in. And the third option is I step on the hip and I catch my triangle. Okay? So add a little bit more of movement into the drill. And you guys can also play around with these options. Let's go, 1, 2. I want to show now the more of the one leg X, okay? So I'm gonna show entries from there, and I'm also gonna show you guys what I like, the way I like to finish, and the safest way to finish, okay? So I have, let's just start with the cross sleeve. Let's just say you guys get to the one leg X. You guys start here, okay? Some people, they stay standing, others, they put that back knee all the way down, and they stay more like facing you. The first thing that I try to do is that I try to get an underhook on this leg, and I keep a shallow underhook. I feel like this is one of the main keys on finishing the sweep. If I bring this leg all the way up on my shoulder, okay, I feel like it's making it harder for me to come up because this leg stays too heavy on my chest, okay? And sometimes even if I try to push and come up, like he starts to move this leg that I'm holding, either trying to pull me on my back, or if I manage to get up, he tries to kick his knee away and pull my head down. Because this leg gets up on my shoulder, all right? So it's gonna take a lot of resistance for you guys to, eventually get that leg all the way up and finish the sweep. So a good detail that I like to use is that I get my underhook, but I keep a shallow right here. I do not bring it all the way up, okay? I keep it shallow. Because by keeping it shallow, I always have this leverage of pulling his foot off the mat and taking this space away. Okay, so what happens to me if I have the sleeve, he stands all the way up. Look, I keep this shallow. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take this space away and I'm gonna pressure for him to sit all the way down. I'm not gonna try to stand up this way, okay? So as he's going all the way up, look how now this underhook goes up and I end up finishing the sweep this way. If I take this base off, if I take this post away, he's gonna be really off balance. Now, if I take this post away and I'm adding pressure into it, he's gonna fall. Okay, so usually I'm here. So as it's going up, look. It's the same detail for the muscle sweep from close guard. So I'm in a close guard. He stands all the way up. I underhook the leg. If I bring this leg all the way up into my shoulder, I might lose now my strength on finishing the sweep because he's already got a strong post. He knows I'm trying to do that. But if I keep it shallow, let him move. Then when he starts to move, I just explode by pulling this all the way up, and I put pressure into that side. Okay, so I do this. So it's almost like I gotta chop his base. I gotta chop the foot away, but I gotta do it when his weight's going towards that foot. All right, so I want everybody to put yourself in this position and then just work on this detail. So I have one leg X. You guys are gonna underhook the leg and keep it shallow right there. Right, so now the person's gonna start to stand up. You're gonna keep your knees pinched, and this is where you're gonna sweep. You're gonna sweep this way. Okay, you're not gonna try to pull him all the way to that side and sweep. I'm gonna maintain my grips. I'm just gonna pull this up, and I'm gonna turn my knees that direction. Okay, using the muscle sweep, or the muscle sweep detail to get all the way up. Now you guys can just collect the leg. You guys can switch the grip and do a technical stand up. What happens is that during the sparring, as he's trying to defend the sweep, it's easier for me to come up. Okay, so during the sparring, for example, when I go to sweep him, he elevates the hip. So when I go to sweep, I use that same momentum to sit all the way up. If I kind of like stop here and then I try to get up, it might be a little bit difficult. Okay. So you guys can use De La Riva. You guys can be moving, working on the details that we just did, and then one leg X. Okay, get a shallow underhook. Now wait for him to start finding his base. Okay, quickly just pull that and make sure you guys add pressure onto it. All right, look how my knees and my hips, they turn, right? So I'm here. It's like I'm gonna go for like an arm bar or even a knee bar, right? So I gotta pull, and I gotta make sure I lift my hips and I pinch my knees. Okay, it's not just pulling. I gotta do all at the same time. And then my knees are gonna turn. Okay, so when he's up, so look. It's like I stiff my body, so like I add more pressure into it, and I end up placing him all the way down. It also helps, let's just say I did manage to put him down, he quickly starts to find his way up. Look. It helps me then connect to my original sweep, right? Just pulling all the way up. But I want you guys to just use the De La Riva, set up one leg X, and then use this muscle sweep detail. I'm sure a lot of you guys already play this guard, so it's gonna make a huge difference when you guys start adding this muscle sweep detail. And then you guys can be connecting from there, sweeping either the person by placing them sitting, or if they manage to get back up, you guys just continue with the X guard sweep. Let's go, 1, 2. I feel like, especially if you guys are using the X guard, the person on top will always try to post that foot on the ground, because that's their base one. They're never gonna be able to pass, escape, if that foot is up in the air, okay? Now I need to time when that's coming. Right? Because when I feel like he starts to post, that's when I really chop that base. So if I have one leg X, I see like a lot of you guys, you get to the shallow underhook, the person stands up, but there's just too much weight here. Like as you try to go, the person's just too heavy, okay? Like the earlier I can do, the better, because he hasn't adjusted the base. But if he's got a pretty solid base ready, I won't be able to do it. So then what I do, I take this foot away, look. Because he's gonna try to step that foot on the ground, right? So I take it away. When he tries to step that foot on the ground, I don't let him step on the ground, and I finish the sweep. It's the same thing, same concept for a closed guard muscle sweep. And what happens is that sometimes you go for it, and the person just has a strong base. Like you can't even move their feet. So he starts to stand all the way up. Like sometimes I'm grabbing the cross sleeve, I underhook. Now when I go, the person has a strong base, okay? So what I focus on doing, doesn't matter if I have the cross sleeve, if I have the cross collar, if you guys, whatever grip you guys have, is that I pull and I try to take this foot off the ground. So I do this. Because then when he builds back up and he tries to step that foot on the ground, so when he's trying to go back up, I take that base away, okay? So if I'm doing like a slow motion, and the cleanest muscle sweep I can do is like he stays up, right? I underhook. Now I do this, so the foot comes off. Now, as he tries to plant that foot on the ground, I take it away. Okay, like if you ever study the muscle sweep, this is what it's gonna look like, right? This is what the person's gonna be trying to teach you on how to work. The X guard, it's the same concept. I take that foot away. Now as he tries to step that from the ground, I redirect my music. Okay, it's the same thing, I just keep on turning until like I feel he falls. Of course, the timing is gonna help. If I can hit it in a perfect time, he's gonna fall quickly, it's gonna be easier for me to finish, okay? But in case you're going, his foot's too heavy, if you're trying to go, then just push it. Push. When he tries to go back, you don't let them step ever again, and you just sweep that base away. Okay? Let's just say I go here, I try to sweep, go back up. So I go 1, I try to go, he resists. 2, he resists. Then inside hook, push. Finish the sweep. Another good detail that I like to use for my X guard that I switch before, I would always focus on pushing with the bottom leg. Let's just say I have one leg X guard. My goal is always to have the bottom leg kicking and standing up. Like as a safe technical stand up, right? But in a competitive round, when you're trying to get up, when you're trying to sweep, you're trying to stand up, the person catches this bottom leg, and then they're pulling you all the way back on bottom. And the same thing, you can be trying to go, sometimes they even just hold this pants. And like you're trying to stand up, and that's the leg that you need for base. So instead of stepping with this leg, I focus on pulsing this right leg. I step with my left one now. Because if he holds with that one, I'm still gonna get up. Because my bottom one is the one that I need. Okay, versus like this, if he holds onto that, look, and he stands up, I say all the time, they both stand up. Then I fall on bottom. But now, if I go here, even if he holds it, go. I'm gonna be able to then press forward and finish the sweep. Now if I have the sleeve, the collar, it's gonna make it easier and faster. So I go here, look how my right leg is gonna drop down, not my left one. My left one, I'm controlling the distance. It also prevents any back step from happening. Because if I go like this, he back steps. If I'm here and I'm holding, back step. Go ahead. Because I'm controlling the distance. He can't back step. Okay, it happens all the time. You try to go here. As you go up, they just last option. They turn their knee down, they back step. Boom. And then it turns into like a scramble. You're trying to get up, and the person is just trying to keep you down. So hold the sleeve, step on the hip. You can control the pants. Now look, stand up. It's hard for the person to keep you down. Okay? So if you guys want to drill any of these details to finish the sweep, we're going to drill it, and then we'll move on to the next one. 1, 2.